Many years ago lived an emperor who thought so much of new clothes that he spent all of his money in order to obtain them. His only ambition in life was to always be well dressed. He did not care for his soldiers, and the theatre did not amuse him. The only thing he thought of was to drive out and show his new suit of clothes. The great city where he resided was very happy. Every day many strangers from all parts of the globe arrived. One day, 2 swindlers came to this city and made people believe that they were weavers, declaring that they could manufacture the finest cloth ever imagined. Their patterns and colours, they said, were not only exceptionally beautiful, but clothes made of their materials possessed the wonderful quality of being invisible to any man who was unfit for his office or unpardonably stupid.
That must be wonderful cloth,
thought the emperor.
If I were to be dressed in a suit made of this cloth, I should be able to find out which men in my empire are unfit for their places, and I can distinguish the clever from the stupid. I must have this cloth woven for me, without delay.
So the emperor gave the swindlers a lot of gold and 2 looms so that they could get started straight away without any loss of time. The 2 pretended to be very hard at work, but did nothing at all. They asked for the finest silk and precious gold cloth, smuggling it out as they left each night time while pretending to be working hard at the empty looms. The emperor wanted to know how the 2 were getting along with the cloth, but felt uneasy when he remembered that he who was not fit for office wouldn't be able to see the cloth. He was of the opinion that he had nothing to fear, yet thought that it was advisable to send somebody else first to see how things were going.
I shall send my honest old minister to the weavers. He can judge best how the stuff looks, for he is intelligent, and nobody understands his office better than he.
The good minister went to the room where the 2 swindlers sat before empty looms.
Heaven preserve us,
he thought, and opened his eyes wide.
I can see nothing at all.
But he did not say so. Both of the swindlers requested him to come near, and asked him if he did not admire the exquisite pattern and beautiful colours, pointing to the empty looms. The poor old minister tried his very best, but he could see nothing, for there was nothing to be seen.
Oh dear, can I be so stupid? I should never have thought so, and nobody must know it.
Have you got nothing to say?
Said one of the weavers.
I shall tell the emperor that I like the cloth very much.
A few days later, the emperor sent another honest minister to the weavers to see how they were getting on, and to see if the cloth was nearly finished. Like the old minister, he looked, but he could see nothing, as there was nothing to be seen. And he praised the cloth, which he did not see, and expressed his joy at the beautiful colours and the fine pattern. Everybody in the whole town talked about how precious this cloth was. At last the emperor wished to see it himself while it was still on the loom. With a number of courtiers, including the 2 who had already been there, he went to the 2 clever swindlers, who now worked as hard as they could, but without using any thread.
What is this?
Thought the emperor.
I do not see anything at all. That is terrible. Am I stupid? Am I unfit to be emperor? That would indeed be the most dreadful thing that could happen to me.
Everybody seemed to be delighted, and the emperor appointed the 2 swindlers the imperial court weavers, and all advised him to wear the new magnificent clothes at a great procession which was soon to take place.
The emperor's new suit is ready now,
said the swindlers. They held their arms up as if they had something in their hands and said,
These are the trousers.
The emperor undressed, and the swindlers pretended to put the new suit on him, one piece after another, and then the emperor looked at himself in the glass from every side. The master of ceremonies then announced that the procession was about to begin. Then he turned once more into the looking-glass so that people would think that he was admiring his garments. The squires who were to carry the trains stretched out their hands onto the ground and lifted up the train and pretended to hold something in their hands. The emperor marched in the procession under his beautiful canopy, and all who saw him in the streets and out of their windows exclaimed, Nobody wished to let the others know that they saw nothing, for then they would either be unfit or stupid. Never were the Emperor's clothes more admired.
Daddy, he doesn't have any clothes on,
said a little child at last.
That was so embarrassing. Please ignore my child.
The father laughed nervously.
But Daddy, he doesn't have any clothes on,
cried the child again. This made a deep impression on the Emperor, for it seemed to him that the child was right. But the squires continued to walk with a greater dignity, as if they carried a train which did not exist.